Hi, I'm Jennessa Couture, and welcome to Get Coach, a Destroy the Hairdresser podcast. Welcome back to Get Coached. Last week, if you caught up, we were talking about doom scrolling and how it causes anxiety and depression and all these different kinds of things. I hope you enjoyed your homework that we gave you last week. I say we, but it's really just me here in this room. So that I gave you last week, we're going to do some more. I'm going to give you some more homework because this is the whole point of getting coached. It's giving you this sort of experience of what it's like to be a student of mine, the things that we talk about, things that we're talking about in this podcast, or things that I talk about with my students and my stylists on a regular basis. It's things that are real, things that I've dealt with, things I still deal with, that I struggle with, things that my stylists, my students are consistently dealing with. And so I want to give you that experience of what this looks like and how we get over, how do we get over these challenges? How do we move forward? So today is kind of a general thing that we deal with. It's fear. I'm going to talk about fear and what it does for you. We all react differently to fear. There's so many different ways that we do it. The most common ways are, fight, flight, or freeze. How we approach fears and what we are afraid about are going to be vastly different. So this is a very general topic, but fear in your life, in your business, will consistently make you live in a state of reactivity, live in a state of reaction. And the more afraid you are, the more that fear controls you. And the truth is if other people can make you feel something like that, then other people have control over you and you don't have control over yourself. And so I'm not saying fear is wrong, and I'm not saying you should never have fear, because that's not a thing. You're never going to have that. I'm saying what's important is that you identify the fear and then think about what the facts are and not just the feelings. I'm constantly saying that to my students. It's like one of the things they'll probably be able to repeat on a regular basis is facts over feelings it's all the time. Is this fact? Are you telling me factual information? Or are you telling me emotional information? Those are two different things. And the emotional information is always going to be rooted by some kind of fear. Always. That fear is going to tell you everything is wrong. That fear is going to tell you that you suck at everything. That fear is going to tell you that nothing is going to work for you. That fear is going to tell you that you can never be successful. That fear is going to tell you everyone's going to leave you. It's going to lead to absolutely the most intense emotions. Those things don't go away. That's the truth. And it's a hard one to kind of hear. It's a hard one to say sometimes because as a coach, I want to be able to tell you that all this stuff goes away. The truth is it doesn't go away. You still feel all those things, but we have to approach those fears with consciousness. We have to be able to start giving them names. It's one of the best things that you could possibly do is name your fear. I don't care what you name it. You can call it Nancy for all I care, but you have to identify it. You have to be able to say, right now, I'm experiencing this, or this is associated with this one thing. I'm scared because a stylist is leaving my salon, and that means that all of this income is going to leave. And so all of my actions can go in two different directions. My actions can go based in fear, and I can start to become maybe a little destructive. I can start to become a little closed off. I can start to become someone who I don't really believe I am in real life. I can start doing things that protect me only because I'm holding on to stuff. We see that all the time with salon owners, like discounting people's clients, not giving them access to their client lists, things like that. But if I identified that fear and then said to myself, like, how can I be proactive about it? What can I do about it instead? So this person gets to move on. I'm afraid of it. What am I going to do? Identifying fear gives you personal responsibility, which is not saying you're at fault for everything. Personal responsibility is what action can I take that gets me out of this feeling? Personal responsibility is identifying that fear, is giving it that name, is knowing that there is something I can do to stop me from feeling this way. And where is it actually coming from? Now, the thing is, the thing that's going to stop you from feeling that fear is going to be equally as scary. It's actually the thing you're probably actually afraid about. You have to go in that direction. It's what we call a risk. It's not a risky thing. It's not Risks don't have to be these big, giant actions, they can be really small things. A risk could be recruiting somebody, a risk could be, I don't know, if you're feeling like you're losing money, a risk could be doing something to specifically make sure that you're in charge of that. A risk could be budgeting, right? A risk could be saying, I'm not going to spend any more in this one category. Some of those things can feel really scary because maybe that's, it's easier to do that thing. It's easier to give everybody everything they want. It's harder to say no. A risk is going into that fear, leading into it. When you do that, what you're doing is you're telling your brain you're no longer afraid of that thing. It doesn't mean you're not going to be afraid of something else later, but when you move in that direction, it's going to calm down your nervous system afterwards. It might not during it. That's the truth. It might not calm down your nervous system as you're leading into the fear, as you're doing that risk. But on the other side of it, it will. You will realize that it wasn't as scary as it seemed at the moment. And every time you overcome one of those little mini fears, those things don't become fears anymore, right? You have now a formula. You know what to do going forward. And so leaning into it is going to give you the ability to break that fear apart. There's so many things that will hinder your growth because of fear. Fear can cause even personality changes, to be honest. You can become short-tempered. You can become, have so much anxiety, have depression. All of these things will lead to all those. I know I struggled with it on a regular basis. My fear will always manifest in depression and anxiety personally. And so doing the thing that makes me afraid, sometimes that thing that makes me afraid is like balancing my checkbook, right? Actually calling my accountant, saying, no, I don't need a sales rep to come into my salon because I'm not purchasing anything right now. Some of those things are scary and they're hard. They seem like not big things, but they're so big in your own mind. And when they're big in your own mind, they are real. There is nothing there's no fear that is made up. It's there. That is a real thing that you are experiencing. And you have to acknowledge it. You have to give it room, but we don't act on the fear exactly. The best thing that you can do when you're feeling a little bit afraid is to just take a break and pause as long as you possibly can, as long as you need to, right? As long as you need to, so that the decisions that you're making are not rooted in what you're feeling in your body right now. I don't know if you're anything like me. Whenever I can feel my body will be tense. My body will feel like it's somebody else's sometimes. I have a hard time identifying it unless I can identify it physically like that. And so when my body feels tense, when my body feels really tight, when I know that this just doesn't feel right, I cannot make any choices at all. I have to, I'm relaxed. I have to wait until I am stepped outside of that thought, until I am really breaking. It did it again. Okay. I'm so close to the end, so I can just keep going. We can, okay. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, that I feel it in my body, right? No. Okay. Okay. I know where I was. Okay. Can I just say, like, we had a little tech difficulty, so I might be repeating myself, but okay, I'll just keep going. Okay. So close. And I knew it. I moved my hand and I clicked it. Is it connected now though? Yeah. No, it's not. It's so weird because it's on. So I don't know why it's. I'm just going to unplug it. Annoying. Okay. I can see it in the list, but I can't select it. Okay. It's so close. Yeah. Okay. Oh, just start now? Okay. So if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling those feelings in your body, if you're feeling all of this fear, what I want you to do is take a break. I want you to identify when you are feeling those feelings and pause. Do something else, anything else. Go for a walk, sing a song. I don't know. Listen to the radio. Do something else to distract you from what that is and stop thinking about it for just a little while, as long as you possibly can, as long as you need to. And then start to pull apart what are the real facts and what are the feelings. When you step outside of that moment, when you give yourself the time to process, and that's what happens, right? When we're in a state of fear, it's like, oh my God, I have to fix this right now. And so you don't even have the ability to process the information that's actually coming at you. And so you're just going on feelings, right? So I want you to give yourself the time to process it. That could take an hour. It could take a day. It could take 3 days. I love when it takes 3 days. 3 days is what I highly recommend. Like, take as much time as you possibly can, because no matter what, nothing is going to fall apart in a minute. Nothing is going to fall apart in 3 days. It took you this long to build it. It's not going to take you 3 days to ruin it by any means. Everything can wait. And the best thing the best thing you can possibly do is give yourself the ability to have time to process, pull apart all of those facts and feelings, and go on the facts only. It's probably the best advice I could ever give you. I'm just going to pat myself on the back for that one. So here's what I want you to do. This week's homework. I want you to identify a fear that you have. It could be on a regular basis. It could be one that you're experiencing in the moment. And then I want you to start to think about 3 solutions to that specific problem. Give yourself the time to process it and give yourself the ability, write it down, like journal it. 3 separate solutions for one problem. All of those should be on maybe on facts, should be on feelings, facts, whatever it is. But I want you to find out what the best one is for you. Right? What the best solution is for you in the moment, for your business and for your own needs. But give yourself the ability to give yourself multiple answers to that one problem. And then I encourage you to take just one step in that direction. Try and implement just a little bit of it. Head right into the fear. Take that risk. And on the other side of it is going to be so much growth. It's going to be freedom, is what it's going to be. So have fun with this week's homework. Take your time. Really, really think about it. I encourage you to put some time into really taking a break, stepping away from it. I hope you put everything into it. And again, if you want to let us know how it goes, I'd love to hear about it. You can DM me on Instagram. You can message, leave a comment on the episode. I would love to hear how this homework is going and if it's helping. So I will talk to you next week. See you later.
Hey hairdressers, are you looking for health insurance? It's time to get healthy with Hairdresser Healthcare, the only coverage designed specifically for the beauty industry. Whether you're an independent stylist, a salon owner with a team, a makeup artist, or a massage therapist, we've got you covered with comprehensive and affordable benefits. With options for self-enrollment and year-round open enrollment, taking control of your health has never been easier. And the best part is, it's available in every state. Visit hairdresserhealthcare.com and take control of your health today because you, your team, and your family deserve it.